outside of the school, there's plenty community-based organizations that you would find would benefit you as an individual, that would expose you to people from different backgrounds. It would allow you to get civically involved and engaged in some of the community activities. Allow students to give back, whether it be through volunteer activities or through just campaigning for different causes, for volunteering for whether it be the homeless. But in any way you can give back, there's opportunities to learn from every experience being a part of a club and organization, whether it be in school or whether it be through your community. Think about your approach and how you would like to be, how you would like someone to approach you. And the first thing would be to be kind and welcoming and be honest about what it is that you would like to know and why you would like to know. Be genuine and show that you're truly interested in learning about others and why it's important to you. I think anytime you have an opportunity to find ways to be inclusive and make people feel like they're valuable, not just to you, but to society as a whole, is really important. So I think I think that's something that would be, it would be challenging at first, but I think once you started, and it just takes a try, just to start, you know, and be kind. That's the first thing that I would suggest. Challenging as the internet can be in providing false information, there is truly a lot of good information that can be found, whether it be through social media outlets, through TED Talks, through different videos, but also I would encourage reading. There are plenty of books that can help students learn more about others, people who are different than them. And it's important that they do their own research and not stick to one channel, you know, whether it be CNN, MSNBC, Fox, to get various perspectives about the issues that are coming up and the issues that we're all addressing. But also get to know those issues intimately. Find out for yourself, sometimes not listening to our family members, but taking a moment to find out from yourself about what is happening out here, what are some of the causes, what are ways that you can get involved, and what are ways that you can make our society, your school, your environment better. Most important is that you document it and that you report it. Any type of bias or harassment behavior is not tolerated. It should not be tolerated, and it needs to be addressed immediately and swiftly. So I would suggest that anytime you are impacted by bias, any type of harassment, that you must document what occurs and that you must report it. I think it's important that students find ways to get outside of what they're seeing on TV and through social media. And, you know, whether it is that the school officials or maybe a student organization comes up with a common book read and encourages students to read together and to openly discuss what they're reading and how it hits them differently because of what they either have heard before, what people in their community are saying that may ring differently than what they're learning from their peers, you know, and you know, just to be able to have a space where they're actually able to hear from real people and not, you know, people that they see on TV that they don't know. And there's, you know, several different videos that are out. There's one video that I was charged with watching, and it was, I think, difficult conversations with a Black man. And that is where people were able to ask whatever questions they had to a Black man, you know, a question that they might have, like a white person would be able to ask a question that they had that, you know, ordinarily you wouldn't think to, you know, go up to someone and ask, you know, questions about, you know, their hairstyle or, you know, what does it feel like to be the only Black person in the classroom or things of that nature. And you actually hear an authentic answer from someone that is willing and interested in sharing what their experience is like. And so, sometimes having a prompt such as a video can allow for people to, one, listen, and engage in conversation, and also give their opinion. So I think it's, having spaces like that where it's where you have an opportunity for people to learn and grow, but also share, that it has to be a safe space to be able to share exactly how they feel and to be able to learn from others' experiences and backgrounds. I think that's important. And I think that's what happened with the George Floyd murder, is it opened people's eyes to see what a lot of people in the Black and Brown community had been experiencing. But because, we're all busy and we're not sitting around looking at anything, but the society was polarized, and we had nothing else to do but watch what was happening. And it really pretty much opened the book to be able to say, that's not the only thing that's happening, and it's not the first time or the only time it's happened. And I think it's been shocking, as you said, to learn that some things like this happen. It also causes question, like, does this really happen? Or is it really made up? And all of those are valid questions. We can't just assume that just because we see something on a television or that one person says it, that it's valid. But to be okay enough and to allow yourself to be vulnerable enough, and secure enough to sit with it and be uncomfortable, to say, okay, I hate to believe that this is what it is, but let me at least sit through it. And I always say to myself, like, even for myself, I have a hard time watching like movies about slavery and things of that nature, and or the civil rights movement, when you see the hoses and you see these things happening. But I always tell myself, the least I can do is watch it. I didn't have to go through it, and so I would really encourage, especially our non-minoritized population, to be okay enough to at least learn about it. Like, you have the fortunate opportunity to not have to live it, and worry about, your kid running out, taking a run and something happening. Depending on what social media you watch, you're fed a lot of the same information. And so one thing that is difficult is if you don't open yourself up to maybe be a part, like allow other social media feeds to fill your box that aren't far left, or that aren't hardcore, but that are reputable and can give you an insight as to what others are going through or what others experience. Of course, my feed is primarily African American or minoritized feed. So the stuff that I go through as an African American woman, that's the kind of stuff that I'm seeing. And I always, and even in my social media, I don't even post that much, because I feel like I'm posting to the same people that are experiencing the same thing. But it would be great if others would be able to see this. And I feel like, again, that's why I feel like the George Floyd situation gave an insight into, like, our feed. That's the kind of stuff that we live on every day, is seeing things that have occurred and feeling helpless and hopeless, from either the incident that occurred to the justice system not holding people accountable. And so you start to give up, you feel powerless, and what can you do if you get pulled over wrong? Like, why should you even fight? Because the system is not going to believe what you say, or they may not use their body cam, or they may cover it up, or there's so many instances of these things that have occurred for the Black community, that there's a sense of distrust. And as you can see from some of the stories and things that have occurred, you have a better understanding as to why. It's not just because, and by no shape or form do I suggest that every single incident is, an incident. Just like, with everything, there's some that are like, now that didn't happen, but by large part, there's more than not that are authentic and, that actually do happen. Again, the school can do the videos and have the conversations, or, the programming, but holding, behaviors accountable and having honest dialogue, and also acknowledging it from the top. And a lot of times, let me say that people don't even realize some of the things that are occurring that are not correct. You know, like you just start to accept things that are occurring. Just like an example, we talked about the Aunt Jemima pancake mix. You know, we're buying the boxes too. We're not, you just get so used to doing it, and you almost don't even realize that you're perpetuating some of the same stereotypes that were placed on us years before, and that were never corrected, or we never felt empowered to have things corrected or changed. And so it seems like, well, you eat it too. What's wrong with it? It's okay for us all to learn that we can do things better.